Today I'm going to talk about garter snakes. This happens to be Sebastian. He's my albino checkered garter snake. Garter snakes are the family Thamnophis, and there are 35 species of garter snakes, which also include the ribbon snakes. Now Sebastian here is the Marcianus, the checkered. The elegans include the wandering. The radix are the plains. Sertalis includes common and many other species. Then they have the, I think it's called lineatum, the line garter snake, and the butler's garter snake there at the end. Now these are very widely spread species. They are the most widely spread species of snake. I have 3 flags here to represent that. They are through Canada, southern half of Canada, up into Alaska in the United States, and they are down into Mexico, down into Central America as well. So these guys, this one in particular, is from the southwest half of the United States. And so now that we know some of the general areas they are, let's go ahead and take a look at some of their habitat. Here's a good example of where you can find a lot of garter snake at. We're in the middle of the city park. This place gets flooded a lot. As you can see, it's very wet here. This is mostly from puddlings. There wasn't a whole flood this year. As well as these marshlands where you can also find water snakes. There's the river right next to it. Both sources hold a great abundance of fish, toads, and frogs. And right across the way here, let me show you, beyond those trees, and you know, garter snakes have no problem with going pretty much anywhere. Across those trees there's a field, and that also holds an abundance of field mice. They can probably eat the pinky mice babies fairly easily. So this is just the park area where I normally find garter snakes. I see them a lot of sunbathing on the banks next to the rivers, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get any of that on video. I was able to hear them scurry out through the bank. So yeah, different sorts of areas. Water snakes, garter snakes. I find mostly common garter snakes here. I may have found a butler's. They are considered endangered here in the state of Indiana. So yeah, there's just a look at an environment you might be able to find garter snakes. Look at that tongue go. Look at that tail wagging over there. He's kind of precariously balanced on this thing. Anyway, so you've seen some habitat with the garter snakes, and they pretty much can be found anywhere. They can deal with pretty cool weather, and they're not so much with hot weather, I don't think. They like to be in the shade during the hot weather, so these guys definitely don't have extra heat on them. They stay at room temperature here. But let's talk about albinos in the wild. Yeah, you're not going to find many of those because they're easily picked off by predators. Easily seen. They're bright and beautiful, and oh my god, look at that meal. It looks like a gummy worm. No, seriously though, raccoons will easily find these guys. Even the raccoons are midnight predators. I'm sure they could easily find one if they're digging around in the dirt. Same with a possum, but they're most likely picked off by a small bird of prey or even a large bird of prey. So these guys in the wild wouldn't make it to adulthood probably. But not just albinos are easily picked on. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the difference. Here I have a beautiful female that is a wild caught, just to show you the wild ones. Can easily be picked on. Now this is Wajette. Wajette's just your common colored garter snake. She has a stubby tail. And as you saw Sebastian's tail, it was very long and thin, and it goes the same for females. So yeah, she's definitely been picked on. And also, let's see if she'll let me get a nice look here at her. She's not, sometimes she can be very active and doesn't really want to be held, like right now. but I will show you if I can. Come on, girl. She has some scarring on her side. And it's hard to see that. She's just very active. But that scarring probably came from maybe attacking a mouse. As I said, these guys can be found near fields, and since there's a lot of field mice, that's what they go after. You know, it depends on the area they're from. If they're from a more marsh area, they probably are going to feed primarily on fish or frogs. But these guys being near fields, she is easily taken mice for me, so that's no problem at all. It just depends on exactly where they're found and what they have grown up eating. I'm sorry. Another thing about garter snakes is a really fun fact, I think, and I had to write down this word because I could not pronounce it. Put this right on top of her. Garter snakes are ovoviviparous, and that means they give birth to live young. Now, when they're born, obviously, they go off on their own and do their own little thing in life. And the fun thing about garter snakes is when they hibernate, not only do they hibernate with other species of snakes, they can hibernate with the brown snake, or known as the Deki snake, queen snakes. And it's been known, from what I've understood, that yearlings hibernate separately, yearlings and younger, than the adults. And I kind of had a funny joke about this going on in my head, that, you know, it's just like when you're a kid, you can't be around the adult conversation. That's how I see it. Now, this is a smaller female. They get pretty big. They can get about 3 feet long. Now, I have seen larger females in the wild together. Like I said, this girl's relatively a small one right now. I've seen them sunbathing, and so I kind of wonder if that's kind of a maternal comfort thing. I don't really know, so let's just leave it at that, at wonderings. Another thing about these snakes is that when they do come out of the dens, each male and female have a distinct pheromone, and some males will give off a female pheromone, and this is an insurance for them that they can breed more with the females once they come out of the den, because the males will come out first and then the females follow. And since they give off that female pheromone, they confuse the other boys, and the boys try to court with the other boys, and it just becomes a confusion mess, and that's why they have those snake mating balls. It just gets really nutty in there. Another thing about these snakes is that they are venomous, and this girl, when I picked her up, she started biting. I mean, she was fine at first. She kind of freaked out, and then all of a sudden she just bit me and started chewing into me, and that's how they get their venom into you. Of course, they cannot kill you at all. All the venom does is give you a slight irritation, and it really is best to, of course, wash it off right away, but I had no way to do it when I first got bit then. But, yeah, it's just an irritation or itchy type of feeling. And their fangs are, let me try and show you with my finger. Yes, okay. Right back there. No, my finger's not a worm. Oh, well, where'd your head go, girl? I lost her head for the camera view. She kind of did freak out with my finger there. But yeah. So these are some fun facts about garter snakes, and I'm going to show you at the end of this video. Little garter snake that I caught and had a big attitude, and just to show you that not all these snakes are going to be cooperative with you right away when you pick them up. Alright, thank you for watching my video.